Hello, everyone, and welcome back to KSU Nation. My name is Kenny G, and today we're going to be going over the football game of K-State versus West Virginia. But before we do that, please go ahead and check out that subscribe button. It's somewhere just a little bit lower than this video. Somewhere down there, there's a word inside of a red box usually, or I don't know if it's in a red box anymore, but it does say subscribe. If you want to go ahead and click that button, it's going to help us a whole lot. Now that that's being said, notice that I am not joined by my constant co-host, Stevie B, and that is mainly because he's not feeling well. It's super unfortunate. We wish him well. Hopefully he does get better soon. But it's just going to be me today. So this ought to be really interesting because one, Stevie is usually the one that handles all of the, he usually handles all the stuff behind the scenes while we're talking. He does all of it on him by himself. So me having to kind of manage that and do the talking, this is going to be really interesting. And it looks like Stevie B has joined us. He is this is his other YouTube channel. He is a comic book he has a comic book channel that he uses, and yep, he has joined the chat. So if you want to wish him well in chat, you can do so right now. So anyway, we're going to talk about K-State crushing West Virginia in Morgantown. Now, what we usually do is we go over our initial thoughts. And I want to say my initial thoughts on this game were, I think K-State is proven now. Okay. I still think they need to show just a little bit more here and there, but my goodness, K-State has really cemented themselves as one of, if not the dominant team in the Big 12. They're the team to beat. Now, I know what BYU fans are going to say. I know what Iowa State fans are going to say. Hey, wait a second. What about us? We're the team to beat. It's funny because Neil Brown, I think that's his name, West Virginia head coach, he said that K-State is the best team in the Big 12. Now, Iowa State, obviously BYU have something to say about that, but he played Iowa State and he believes that K-State's better. He had back-to-back weeks with those two teams. I'll say that I believe K-State has established themselves as not being one-dimensional. We all know that that DJ Giddens is quite literally the workhorse on this team. He is absolutely incredible. But it wasn't about DJ this game. It had nothing to do with DJ this game. It had everything to do with Avery Johnson and the receiving core, and also tipping the hat to the tight ends. K-State, we thought about K-State being this dominant offensive team maybe next year, after Avery had a year of experience under his belt, after incorporating the new offensive coordinator, getting him settled in. No. We don't need to wait till 2025. We could actually do this now. We could actually do this in 2024, which is so refreshing. We knew Avery was the guy. We just didn't know how long it was going to take him to be the guy. And it's looking like it's going to come a lot sooner than we thought. They're even saying things like the amount of yards per play is starting to become comparable to the 98 team, which we all know is the best K-State team that we've ever had. And they're saying that they're on the trajectory of being better than that team. That's crazy. That is extremely exciting if you're a K-State fan. So let's get into it. Now, I'm still new at this behind the scenes stuff, so you got to bear with me here. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get right into the offense. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. All right. 45-18, K-State wins. Avery Johnson, let's look at this right here. Okay, this is the story of the whole game. Avery Johnson, 19 for 29 for literally 2 yards shy of 300 yards. He has 3 touchdowns. Avery Johnson's just a runner. Avery Johnson doesn't have an arm. Huh? What? 300 yards. 3 touchdowns. This is kind of alarming, but here's the deal. Morgantown is a tough place to play for one. But West Virginia, they watched film, okay? They saw DJ almost run for 200 yards 2 games in a row. And they said, "Yeah, we're not going to let DJ beat us." They made sure they were not going to let DJ beat them on the ground. So they shut him down. But they didn't completely eliminate him from the game. As you can see, DJ tying the amount of touchdowns that he had for the season, he got in the same game. So now DJ's up 4 touchdowns for the year, which is insane if you think about it. The amount of yards this guy gets and only getting 2 touchdowns. Well, K-State said, you know what? You don't have to be the guy that runs for 3,000-4,000 yards this game. You can go ahead and do what you can, and we'll punch it in. Okay? We'll punch you in, and that's what they did. Joe Jackson, he should have had that touchdown. I mean, I was kind of like walking away. Had some people over last night. We had a good time. We were playing some games and stuff like that. We had a little bonfire. And I remember the game was basically over in the fourth quarter. And I saw Joe, and I walked in right as Joe Jackson was running it in. I'm like, Joe Jackson is the future. And I quickly texted Stevie B that, and I was like, oh, man, this is insane. And then apparently it didn't get called. The touchdown didn't get called for some reason. I didn't pay attention. I was like, well, at this point, it's over. There's no reason to be paying attention to this game, even though I knew that I was going to be doing this show the next day, but I didn't think I would be doing it alone. So now I'm kind of kicking myself. I should have paid attention a little bit more. And also those who are just now coming in and watching, the reason why I'm alone, Stevie B's not feeling well. So give a little shout out to him. Put it in the comments. Wish him well. Wish him that he gets a little bit better for the next week. Hate to see a friend be sick. No one likes being sick. In fact, everyone hates being sick. So, but we're just going to keep scrolling down here. Dylan Edwards, not bad, right? We were kind of hoping this would be sort of a breakout game for him, and it wasn't a bad game. Okay, still not really doing a ton for the offense. But the thing is that he didn't have to do a ton. He didn't really have to do a ton. He just had to be, again, I feel like we keep using Dylan as more of a decoy, or sort of like, giving some interesting looks here and there. But eventually he will have a breakout game. My prediction is it's going to happen this week against KU, but we'll talk about that later this week. So yeah, the rushing game, not really there. And we kind of already predicted that Avery wasn't going to be running, but we didn't think that it would be like a goose egg of yards. We thought like he maybe scramble a little bit here and there. No, the coaches made it very clear. Avery, you are not to run at all. We don't want you to run at all. Seriously, like no yards. You stay in the pocket, you hand it off, you throw the ball. We don't want you running. Okay. So hats off to Avery. And listen, story of the game. Part of the reason why K-State dominated the way that they did was because West Virginia's top 3 players on their team, on their offense, they were out. Why were they out? They got banged up pretty bad. Garrett Green, man, he is a tough SOB. But football's a physical game, all right? And when you go against a team like K-State, they hit hard. They're not hitting dirty, okay? They're not doing these dirty hits or anything. They're just doing clean tackles. It just hurts, And they had to pull them in the second half, and that was it. And so hats off to the coaching staff of K-State. They didn't want that to happen to Avery, okay? Not that I think that Avery would get hit like that, but I'm just saying, you don't want that to happen to your quarterback, what happened to their quarterback. So there's a whole lot more football to play, and this was a chance for Avery to prove that he could do it on his arm, and he did. He did. He proved it. He proved to everybody that he's not just, this running quarterback that could, throw it here or there. No, he could throw. He could win you the game on his arm, and he did. Which brings us right to the receiving core. And then we're going to get into all the gradings and everything like that. Again, I'm by myself. This is all kind of a lot for me. And please tell me if I'm doing absolutely horrible, so that way I can go cry to myself later in a closet. All right. Jaden Jackson, 2 receptions for 84 yards. 42 yards an average, and with that sweet touchdown. Oh man, that was such a great bomb that he threw. That was so legit. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look here. We got some comments coming in. Get better, Stoon Stevie. Yes, appreciate that. And even Steve is watching right now. We're just gonna be firing away at these comments. I think they are sitting on plays packages for 3. Potentially. The reward wasn't the risk with Avery when he's throwing the way he is. Exactly. I mean, it's like, what is if Avery can just throw it, and it looks like West Virginia is scheming their defense to just shut down the run. Okay, then just throw it then. If they're just gonna keep playing against the run, fine. We'll just throw it. And we proved that we can do that. So now teams can't just do what West Virginia did. If they want to do it, go ahead. We're just going to throw it over your head, and we're going to beat you in the throw game. DJ Giddens, although he didn't really get any good running yards. I mean, he got some good rushes, but 53 yards and a reception. That's pretty legit. Keegan Johnson, he had a couple of targets, and no, it was good. It was good stuff. So the story is the tight ends. He almost got the hat trick of getting a touchdown with every tight end. Swanson was there, didn't get it, unfortunately. It was kind of funny, but good for these guys. They really stepped up, and made it happen. Made some really good plays. Dylan Edwards getting some good catches in. But overall, this is what you want to see. Your quarterback getting almost 300 yards in the air. That's legit right there. So, let's keep moving on. Oh, and look at this. 100 yards for DJ Giddens. Now, we did say it was going to be 100 yards rushing. He didn't get 100 yards rushing, but you're not going to nitpick here, okay? Finally caught a live stream. Hey, nice. Put that on there. We're going to throw your comment right up on the live stream. Finally. That's legit, man. Well, welcome to the live stream. I'm sorry it has to just be me. You couldn't see Stevie. He is unfortunately not feeling well, but to show him your support, if you can go ahead and subscribe or get some other people that you know to subscribe, that would make Stevie feel so much better. In fact, I know that's the antidote for his sickness, is just more subscribers. So if you could just do that, that'd be fantastic. All right, we're going to move it right down to a little bit of the special teams. Oh, I guess they don't have the defense yet figured out. Interesting. Well, that seems kind of weird. I am using an interesting app here for that. Weird. Well, this is my first time doing the show by myself, so you guys can just complain later, maybe. I don't know. All right. Take a look at this. Team stats. Yeah, man. I mean, this is solid. I mean, we completely dominated. We didn't have the rushing game, but it's fine. When you've got the passing game going, that's absolutely perfect. Perfect. Yards per play, 7.5. All right, let's take a look here. First downs, 19 out of 20. Yeah, they definitely burned a lot of the clock. That's what happens when you get turnovers, and that's also what happens when you have a 2-play drive, interceptions thrown. Of course, we didn't fumble the ball. Penalties killed us. This is not good. If you're a K-State fan, we're one of the best teams in terms of penalties against us, and this is no bueno, no good. That's not a good deal right there. We want to make sure that we clean that up. A lot of those penalties were pretty iffy, if you ask me. Honestly, if you ask a lot of people that are K-State fans, you're gonna be like, yeah, that was a little uncalled for. And you've got the total plays, 55 to 70. They had 20 more plays than us. Man, that's crazy. All right, well, so all in all, the initial thoughts are on the offense. We did a great job. Okay. West Virginia obviously came out and schemed against the run, and we needed to make sure that we were able to dominate in another way, and not just have it be thrown to DJ, but open up other areas, because they were gunning for DJ. I mean, they knew. They literally, in the locker room, I guarantee you, in their prayer that they say to God right before they, like, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, let not DJ beat us on the field. That's literally what they said in their prayer. Please do not let DJ beat us on the field. That's what their prayer was going into the game. They knew they were not going to let DJ win. They didn't want DJ to win the game. They made sure that DJ wasn't going to beat them, and that was their whole scheme going into the game. So that's fine. We have more than one weapon on our team, as it was very well displayed. There's a lot of targets, and I'm really thankful that the wide receiver room stepped up their game and caught some balls, specifically the tight ends, which I don't know if you really call them wide receivers. They're more of like the line, but they did really well. And they caught some pretty significant balls in the end zone. All right, we got some comments firing in here. Let's go. Let's see what this is all about. I was at the game last night in Morgantown. Those hits on Green were intense. I'm surprised that kid made it to half, actually. Yeah, no doubt about it that he's a tough guy. Man, when I saw him limping off of that first one, when he made that really long run, I was like, man, that's pretty wild. And his elbow was bleeding, his knee was gashed pretty bad. And I'm thinking to myself, good grief. This guy he's taking a beating out there. But props to him for sticking with it and for his team. And I think that's the kind of thing that you want in a leader for your team. You want to have a guy that's gonna, that should have been sort of a spark for the rest of the team. Like, hey, listen, our quarterback isn't giving up, and he's taking a massive beating out here. But unfortunately, their team just couldn't rally. I don't know if that's I don't know. I heard also, I mean, you said you were at the game. Hold on, you were at the game last night. Okay. Somebody told me that the stands were cleared out by the end of the third quarter. By fourth quarter, there was like no one in Morgantown. Can you confirm or deny? While you do that, I'm going to take a little sip of this. I'm getting a little parched here. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, it's let's take a look at this comment right here. Cats defense is a wrecking ball. How many starters have not finished the game against RD? Hey, physical game, all right? Football is a physical game, and the Cats, they get out there, they knock some heads around. I mean, we knew last year going into to the season, we're like, man, we got a really young team. It's kind of alarming, but they proved that they could stick with it, and this year, it's just been bringing back all those young guys, and they're out there knocking heads around. I mean, they're just playing physical football, and that's all you could ask for, really. I mean, they weren't perfect. I mean, they made a lot of mistakes, a lot of missed tackles, which is kind of uncharacteristic. But the tackles they did make, they made them, and it was a statement. All right, let's take a look at this comment I asked for. Correct. The West Virginia stands were almost entirely gone. Majority were Cats fans. Wow. Wow. Okay. And then empty by the beginning of the fourth quarter. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, West Virginia fans, they basically had enough. They had enough of this team. Going into it, they were a little bit salty. And just by all the controversy going into that game with their head coach. And man, it was I remember they were chanting something also in the game. I couldn't make out what they were chanting, but they were chanting something. I don't know if you could tell me what they were chanting, because I remember it was coming through the broadcast. I just couldn't make out what it was saying, and then what they were saying. Just don't tell the D it's third down in the first half. Yeah, right. Don't tell them it's third down, because they just always end up giving it away somehow. All right, so they don't really have any defensive stats on this app that I'm showing, which is kind of strange to me. But I guess I could just kind of give a brief summary. I mean, a couple interceptions, and I want to say Austin Romaine was the leading tackler. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Before I do that, I don't want to get sidetracked here. I don't want to get sidetracked. So let's go really quick. Let's go grade. Let's grade each position here. Quarterback position. That's an A. That's an A right there. 100%. I mean, what can you ask for more than that from your quarterback? 0 sacks, 0 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, almost 300 yards in the air. Use the ESPN box score. All right, hold on. Bear with me, everybody. I don't have a color commentator to help me out with this. Let's see, ESPN. But we're gonna keep continuing with the grading. So I'm definitely sticking with my grade of A for the it's definitely an A for the quarterback. All right, okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and share the screen. All right. And there we go. Okay. Holy moly. Yep. Okay. So the defense, we've got Austin Romaine, 12 tackles. He had 4 solos, 0 sacks, 0 tackles for loss. Marquis Siegel, man, what a performance there. Absolutely dominating. Yeah. So all in all, the defense did pretty good. I don't think that they played absolutely amazing, but they did really well. I think our secondary really stepped up a lot. But this was definitely Avery's best game today. Oh, as I'm looking at the score here, yes, I would say, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I literally just said that. Yeah, Siegel didn't drop the interception. Yes. It was pretty remarkable to see that. So all in all, Asa Newsome had that controversial hit, didn't get called for targeting. So it's good to see that. He'll be back in this coming week. All in all, dude, the defense did pretty dang good. Anytime you hold a team to 18 points, you're doing pretty well. And really, those 18 points, I think that was, again, Brian Hanley last week kind of predicted there would be a little window dressing, is what he called it, touchdown. And yeah, it was a little bit of a window dressing touchdown there at the very, very end of the game when it was basically over. So, gonna scoot down. Okay, get along to get along. Hey, let's go. Let's go, Cats. West Virginia made us one-dimensional, but couldn't stop the one dimension. Yeah, well, we have two dimensions, and if you stop one, we'll just use the other one. So, I mean, that's basically it right there. And let's go ahead and we're going to continue. Okay, I just want to do a brief overview of the defense, before we finish grading the offense here. So, quarterback gets an A, 100%. Rushing. You got to give him maybe a B minus. C. Listen, okay, the entire defense was gunning for this. And rushing offense, you kind of have to pair it with the offensive line. The offensive line did horrendous. They were not good. Okay. They did not allow DJ to get any yards. Okay. And that really comes down to offensive line. But credit to West Virginia for scheming against this offense. I mean, we were the best rushing offense in the Big 12 going into this game. Now, I think that might look a little bad now. I mean, maybe, I don't know if we still are or not. I don't know. I haven't done all the math yet. I haven't looked at all the other teams, but this definitely puts a little dent in that stat. And so West Virginia definitely did a great job of stopping the rush. But to be fair, DJ, he was able to catch some balls. He did get a couple touchdowns, which is good to see. So the running backs in this game they still played a factor. Okay. And when you get 2 touchdowns as running it in, and then you also catch some pretty big passes, I mean, you can't ask for more than that. So B minus for the rushing. Receiving, give him B plus. A minus probably now that I'm looking at it. I mean, look at that right there. That's too good right there. That's a lot of the credit has to go to Avery, but I mean, it takes 2 to tango, Avery's got to throw the ball. They got to catch the ball. So you have to give credit to the receivers too. And so Avery doesn't get 300 passing yards if the receivers don't catch it. So the receivers also need credit as well. So they also get an A for that. Dylan Edwards does get that crazy fumble. Whew, man, that was a little crazy. Did not like where my heart was sitting heart rate wise when that fumble happened, but good on K-State to pay attention to what was going on and cut him for that. So offensive line, they got to get a D, maybe even a D minus. They didn't give any sacks, so I guess D would be fine, but not allowing DJ to really go off. I mean, they shut down the run big time. This 116, I believe at the half it was like 9. So that's I'm not 100% sure. Maybe for DJ it was at 9. But that was crazy seeing that. It was like, what the heck, man? Are we all of a sudden the Colorado Buffaloes, or what's going on here? Like, we're not the same team anymore because they completely schemed against this offense. All right, so enough of that. I feel like I'm babbling here about this stuff. Let's see. You got to close this out. Okay, yeah, let's do a quick let's do quick grading on the D. Oh, whoa. Wait, actually, before we do that, hold the phone. See, this is why I need Steve. He's so much better at this than I am when it comes to organization. So with the grading And the offense, we talked about the offense. We gave the grades for him and everything. It's time to reveal the cat of the game, the offensive player of the game, and it has to go to Avery Johnson, the man, the myth, the gosh dang legend, Avery Johnson. He was incredible. Honestly, I knew going into like the third quarter, I was like, I think Avery's probably gonna get cat the game. And I remember like halfway through the third quarter, I was like, okay, Avery definitely gets cat of the game. And I want to say, since we're already on this topic right now, that isn't Avery's first cat of the game, just so you guys know. And I have it pulled up right here. That is his third cat of the game. So he is now one away from tying with DJ. So DJ's got 4, Dylan's got 1, and Avery Johnson has 3. There was that one game where we gave, I believe, 2 cats of the game. Maybe, I think, right? Wait, hold on. 7, 8, 6 and 1. Yeah, we gave 2 cats of the game away. All right. Let me just oh man, I didn't even put this person's name down for the dog. Let me just write this down really quick. All right, so we kind of went over the defense a little bit, and the defense did well. Let me just show you the screen one more time. Lots of action. Lots of action. You love to see this right here. I mean, look at this list. My goodness, man. It was like everybody was involved in this freaking defense. It's amazing. Truly amazing. Now I did say that my hot take was that Austin Romaine was going to force a fumble. Didn't happen. As a matter of fact, I don't think they fumbled it once. I don't believe that they fumbled it once. Let me just double check here. Where do you even see that on this? Am I missing something here? Oh, it would be right here. Oh, they did fumble it. Huh. Okay, so they did fumble it. I must not have been aware of that in the game. Probably wasn't paying attention. Okay, let's take a look here. Yes, I agree with this right here. Our defense was lights out in the 3rd and 4th downs. Shut West Virginia down hard. I agree with that. Damon, great take on that. Yeah, so my hot take was that Austin Romaine was going to be forcing a fumble and there was going to be a turnover. Didn't really happen in that game. I think after Garrett Green, shout out to Stevie for saying this. When Garrett Green got taken out and the new quarterback came in, he was just a non-factor in the first few drives, and he played as a player that did not want to turn the ball over. But also got to give a shout out to Stevie B. So we're giving lots of shout outs to Stevie here. His hot take was that there was going to be a non-offensive touchdown. And in fact, there was. Marquis Siegel gets the interception, 43-yard touchdown. It's actually it's the second longest pick six in the Big 12 right now. So shout out to Marquis Siegel and shout out to Stevie B for making that the hot take. I mean, I'm not mad about that at all. In fact, I'm extremely happy that there was a pick six. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. But look at the difference here. West Virginia, let's not forget, this is an away game for K-State. And look at the amount of players, more players that are involved in the defense compared to a home game defense. Now, of course, I mean, when you're behind, you're going to leave your starters in the whole game. And when you're ahead, you bring in the backups. But this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. But You love to see it. The defense did really well. I mean, when you hold a team to 18 points, I mean, when you hold a team to 10 points basically for the whole game, your defense is doing pretty well. So, going to go ahead and start grading these individual positions. Defensive line, I'll give you a solid B. Give you a solid B. I mean, 2 sacks, not bad. I believe those sacks kind of came in the second half with their backup quarterback. And like, again, Stevie pointed out, that's a quarterback that does not want to turn the ball over. He played as if he did not want to turn the ball over. And that's what happens when you hold on to the ball, you're going to get sacked. So you get a solid B for me. Could have been more. Their quarterback was able to break a lot of tackles, and their starting quarterback was able to break a lot of tackles. And the first half was rough. Okay. Second half, we did way better. And maybe that has to do with Clanderman, shutting it down and really dialing in the defense. But also, I think let's not kid ourselves. A huge part of that is of their starting quarterback going out of the game and their leading rusher also coming out of the game. Okay, let's not kid ourselves. That was a huge help in K-State winning this game. Linebackers, B+, A-. Des Purnell, I mean, he's been MIA a lot this season. But I saw him a bunch in this game, really getting to the backfield, which is good to see. I'm happy to see it from Purnell. And again, Austin Romaine, that dude is literally everywhere. He's insane. That dude is so good. And I'm happy that he's on K-State. And let's go to our secondary. They gotta get an A. You have to get an A if you're a secondary on the defense. And that is what I'm so excited about. Finally, we have a game where our secondary defense is finally something to be excited about. You know what I mean? Like, it's been way too many times where a team has thrown for like 400 yards against our defense. How much did they throw? 143. That's what we want to see. Okay. And a lot of this kind of came later. This is what against our secondary, that's a huge improvement. And on top of that, we also got a couple interceptions. First one didn't really get much out of it, but the second one was a pick six. Let's see what Stevie has to say here. Stevie, best LB crew K-State has had in a long time. I agree. The linebacking crew is really good. I think Austin Romaine, Austin Moore, the two Austins, they're playing very, very well. And I think Purnell is just being consistent. I think he's just doing his job as the Sam backer, because I haven't really seen too much from him. But again, you don't need to see too much. If he's shutting down the strong side, then I think the other one's picking it up. That's fine by me. Austin Romaine is the shining star. And I think if he does come back to K-State next year, he's going to be, he has to be the captain of the defense. I mean, he's just shown to be so good. All right. So with us grading the defense, I think it's high time to bring up our dog of the game. That goes to Marquise Siegel with the pick six. He was playing out of his mind yesterday. I mean, seriously, dude, this guy was a star, and I'm happy to see it. He has been talked about by a lot of the players as sort of the leader in this K-State crew, and it's good to see your leader succeed. He's kind of like been the voice, the hype man of this defensive team. And for him to be able to make a pick six, I mean, that's legit. And he has gotten so much better from last year to this year. I mean, we used to make fun of Siegel for being the worst hands on our defensive secondary, and he's made a couple interceptions already this year. And then there was another moment in the game where he batted down a pass. I mean, dude, the guy was everywhere. He has quite literally just stepped up a lot. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy for him. This is going to be Marquis Siegel's first dog of the game. We're continuing to just have a wide spectrum of dogs of the game on our team. But hey, you love to see it because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want everybody to step up. You want everybody to make plays. Let's take a look at the comments real quick. Before I continue, I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance to like and subscribe, comment, share, whatever you want to do. Just do it in a positive way for this channel. The subscribe button, in case you didn't know what it looks like, it's a red box with white writing in it. It says subscribe. Just all you got to do is just click it. And then there's like a bell that you have to click as well. Man, it's gonna be really cool if you do that, because then you'll be able to see all of the content that we put out right when we put it out, right when it is released. So let's go to these comments here. Siegel is the man. Not only is he the man, but he is the dog. Okay. Totally agree with you on this pick. Absolutely. I mean, why would you disagree with me? Okay. What would be your reason for disagreeing with me? All right. That's what I want to know. And Stevie B says 100% Damon. That's right. Okay. So we've gone over the offense. We've gone over the defense. We did our cat and dog. I think it is now time for everyone's favorite part of this channel, and that is going over, got to pause for suspense, going over the Big 12 power rankings. Can I get a hoya? Hoya. All right. So I can't really zoom in. I don't actually, maybe I can. Is this a zoom? No, that's ad sheet. How do you zoom in here? This is why I need Stevie on this show, because here we go. Here we go. Boom. Let's go. Let me see if I can jump it up can I like edit the, oh, wait a second. Oh, snap. 135. Oh, I think we can go to 145. I think we can go to 140. Hold on. 145. That's the ticket right there. All right. So Stevie B has already put in his power rankings. All right. He's already done it. And I have to do a couple things here just to make sure I am not. So bear with me for just for 2 seconds. This is again why you need to have a second person on the call, because they're able to fill this time in. All right. Should maybe instead of going over the power rankings, we go over what happened around the Big 12. Is that something that we should do? Let me know. I think we should just go right into the power rankings. Screw it. We'll kind of go over what happened in the Big 12 as we go into the power rankings. All right. Houston. You know what? They got to be last place. They lost to Kansas. I think, and it wasn't just a little bit. They got the doors blown off of them. And that stadium was empty. I don't know if you guys saw pictures of how empty that stadium. I mean, Arrowhead was a ghost town in that stadium. There was no one there. But you know, KU, congratulations. You beat Houston. All right. but I still believe, I guess, let's see. Houston's got to be last. I mean, it's just how it goes when you lose to the worst team, you end up going down. So, and they weren't that high up either. So we got to go that. And then KU, yeah, you improved. Congratulations. You moved up one. Now here's where it gets interesting. Oh boy. So we've got UCF, Oklahoma State University, Utah, Arizona. All these 1-3 teams. And then obviously Oklahoma State is 0-4. But here's the deal. They almost beat BYU, okay? They almost beat BYU. At Provo, at night. I mean, they quite literally had the game in their hands. They had the game in their hands. I mean, in terms of power rankings, I think OSU is stronger than their record shows. The only downside is that Garrett Rangel got hurt and had to come out of the game. I feel like if he was still in the game, they might have won. They might have given BYU their first loss. But when you're a team like BYU and you've got the sauce this year, you're not going to lose games when there's a couple minutes left and you're down. You're going to actually come back. It's at home. You were going to win that game. But man, oh man, OSU had the game in their hands. But you have to think Oklahoma State, your record is really bad. You're underperforming a lot. I think you have to put them at 14. I want to put them at 13 because I think there's a team that is worse than them. And that team is Utah. I think Utah is absolutely horrendous. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm putting Utah at 14. I know. Actually, hold on. I can't do that because they beat Oklahoma State. You're right. It's got to be this. Oops. It's got to be this because they beat Oklahoma State. But that's it. I'm not going to give Utah any more credit. I'm not giving Utah any more credit. Okay? They're so bad. How in the world do you lose to TCU? Seriously? Sonny Dykes is struggling with that team. You're telling me that he came to Utah and beat Utah. No, man. Utah, you're struggling. No. UCF does not, in my opinion, UCF is not a 14 team. They the same way that Oklahoma State University almost beat BYU, UCF went into Ames and almost beat Iowa State. It was almost the same exact game. These horrible teams going to the number 1 and number 2 team in the conference, and they almost beat them. They were ahead with the last drive of the game. Rocco Beck, pulls out the win. It's one of those things where anything can happen in the Big 12, but nowhere on my bingo card did I think that UCF. Do you realize that they were a 2-touchdown dog against Iowa State? And they barely lost to them? Barely. That's how good they were. Either that's how good UCF was playing or that's how bad Iowa State was playing. So I can't put UCF lower than 12. They were in that game. They were in it. I'm going to bring Baylor up because they now he has them at 13. I respect it. I understand. I guess we're just kind of flip-flopping these around. I'm putting Baylor up because they won. And they won definitively. 60 points. 60 points against Texas Tech. Are you flipping kidding me right now? 60 points. Yeah, and they also barely lost to Colorado on a Hail Mary. Okay. Baylor needs to move up. 60 points. And they went to Lubbock. That's insane. That's insane. They're still 1-3 in the conference, but that's insane. Okay? Baylor. All right. Listen, we talked about this. Dave Aranda's he might not make it to next season. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be back next season. But the players on the team are fighting for this team. They're fighting, and it showed in last night's game. I did not see that coming. An undefeated conference team in Texas Tech getting the doors blown off by Baylor. Yeah. Oh, interesting. You got TCU. I mean, listen, I understand you have to, but actually, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about this. Arizona straight trash. Arizona's bad. I don't know what else you want me to say. Arizona and Utah. What the hell are you guys doing? Did you really think that you were going to be able to just run the Big 12 with the performances that you've been putting on? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You guys got to figure it out. You're in the bottom half of the league. The bottom half. I have Utah at 13th. You're only better than Oklahoma State, Kansas, and Houston. Those are basketball teams. Not even Oklahoma State University. Just the two basketball schools, and then Oklahoma State, who's has a weird season so far. But to be fair, they've had a interesting year. Okay, Ollie Gordon. Maybe we found Ollie Gordon this last weekend. Maybe that was the case. All right, what do we got here? We got the bunch of 2-2 teams. Let's see here. I'm going to put TCU here. And I'll tell you why. TCU's wins. They're against Utah and they're against Kansas. West Virginia's wins, I believe. Oklahoma State, Kansas, right? Is that right? Or was it Baylor? I can't remember all these games. My brain doesn't work that well. But the games that West Virginia lost, they lost to Iowa State, wasn't that bad. They got the doors blown off by K-State. I mean, K-State absolutely destroyed them. But I'm a little biased, I think, as you can tell. Get the power cat on my chest here. And you're on KSU Nation. So West Virginia did beat KU. And TCU also beat KU. And it was TCU that had to make a comeback win against KU. Was that the same with West Virginia? I can't remember. I'm not even going to get into it. This is my picks. Oh, shoot. Whoops. Let me fix that real quick. Whoops. All right. Oh, I'm just going to do this right here. All right. These are my picks. I think Arizona State. You're at 7th. Yeah, you lost. You lost to Cincinnati. But we kind of knew going into the game Cincinnati was playing at home. They had a good win against UCF, and Arizona State lost their quarterback, playing at 9 o'clock a.m. in the morning for their body clock. This was going to be a tough win. If they were going to win, it was going to be a tough win, which, at some point, Arizona State had to come down to earth. But you cannot deny how fun this team has been to watch. Every single one of us predicted that Arizona State was going to be the worst team in the conference. And Control C, Control V. Listen, don't make fun of the way I do things, Steve. All right. If you want to do this, then you get on here and you do it. All right. So Texas Tech has to drop down. I agree with this, Steve. I agree. I completely. Oh, son of a bitch. Whoops. Okay, let's try this. Let's try Steve's way. All right. So I agree with this. Texas Tech coming down to 5. I might even put them at 6. Baylor beat them 60-35. Their defense is nowhere to be found. Absolutely nowhere to be found. Colorado proving us wrong every week. They are a pretty good team. But here's the thing. We need to do tier lists, okay? We need to do tier lists because having Colorado at number 4 is going to give you the wrong idea of how I think Colorado is. Okay? And also I think it's a little indicative of what the Big 12 looks like now, to be fair. No. Okay, this is not working out. Okay. Colorado is 4th, but I don't think they're a contender with these 3 right here. Do I want to say now? Listen, I told Steve this right away after they lost, or after Iowa State beat UCF. I said Iowa State is on fraud alert. Let's just take a gander of Iowa State's last few games, shall we? Let's just take a look. All right, let's look at the full schedule here. I'll just read it off to you so that way you can hear it for yourself. They beat Houston 20-0. For most of that game, it was 3-0. For literally the majority of the game. Houston's last place in the league right now. Let that sink in. They beat Baylor 43-21. Baylor actually came out swinging. Okay, this was at home. Baylor's not the best team. Steve has them at 13. Then they went on the road to play at West Virginia. 28-16. Now, that was a pretty dominant win, but the way that those points were, it was 0-14, or 0 first quarter, second quarter was 14, 0 third quarter, 14. That's how the touchdowns went. UCF 38-35. They beat Baylor, UCF, West Virginia, and Houston. They're on fraud alert for sure. Their offense is not convincing for me at all. Their defense, okay. All right. Their defense keeps them in. Their offense is not doing it for me. They have not dominated in the way that I think a top team should be. So they're undefeated. I get that. I'm going to make a lot of Iowa State fans really mad. But I'll tell you why I put them at third. Because the coach of West Virginia, who is completely unbiased in this decision between K-State and Iowa State, he's the coach for West Virginia. The coach for West Virginia. He doesn't care about Iowa State or K-State. He's not trying to look for a job there. So for him to say that K-State is better than Iowa State after he just played both teams back to back, he said K-State was better. So I'm going to agree with him because I can. I can agree with him if I want. And you want to know something? The top two right here for my picks, those are the teams that are going to Arlington. I mean, that's the facts. I know that there's a lot of football to play, and anything can happen in the Big 12. But K-State BYU, it's going to be a rematch in Arlington, and I think K-State's going to get the dub. I mean, what do you expect? I'm on KSU Nation. What do you expect, right? We really need a win over a ranked opponent. Yeah, we'll get one. Barring that Iowa State doesn't lose any more games, we'll win. We'll win over Iowa State when we go to Ames. Their wins are not convincing. Let's look at the next games that they have ahead. Texas Tech in Ames. Yeah, that's going to be a win for Iowa State. KU. Yeah. At Arrowhead. Yeah, that's a win for Iowa State. Cincinnati. Ooh, now that's a sneaky game. That's a sneaky game. That could be good. That could actually be a good game. Cincinnati might actually surprise people when they play Iowa State. But they're playing in Ames. That's the ticker. Cincinnati is going to be walking in as dogs at Ames. So there's that. And then Utah. Look, I have no faith in Utah whatsoever. Their defense is not what was advertised. They are completely fallen apart. They've fallen apart completely. Their season's over as far as I'm concerned. They will be lucky. They'll be lucky to get a bowl game. Now, I know they only need 2 more wins to get a bowl game, but seriously, with the way that they've been playing, Utah's a dumpster fire. They need to completely reevaluate their team after this season's over. And then all the way at the end of November, they play K-State. So, yeah, that's going to be the time that we're going to really, I mean, obviously, we're going to see what K-State's made of. But both teams, I mean, K-State plays Cincinnati also. We play them, I think, a little earlier than they do. I'm not 100% sure how that works. But K-State's schedule looking pretty good. KU, Houston, Arizona, Cincinnati, and then Iowa State. That's going to be a great stretch for K-State, I feel like. And having our only L to BYU going into the Iowa State game, I think that's going to be really good. So these are my power rankings. We kind of also did a little review of what happened in the Big 12 this last week, as well as going over the power rankings. But take a good hard look at the power rankings here. Well, let's go back just a hair. Well, hold on. Let me see here. Is this the bar right there? No, there it is. Boom. That's a good shot right there. If you guys want to do a little screenshot or something like that. But these are the power rankings. BYU barely scraping by against Oklahoma State University. Who saw that coming? Iowa State almost losing to UCF, who has been so underwhelming this season. No one saw this coming. Man, the Big 12 is crazy. But it's good to know that K-State, I mean, you're on KSU Nation, so we're gonna be talking about K-State a little bit right now. It's good to know that K-State is a team that was projected to be good and has lived up to the expectations. And I think that has a lot to do with coaching staff and has a lot to do with the culture of K-State, has a lot to do with the guys that are on the field, the recruiting, everything that goes into K-State victories and K-State culture, and especially in the football program. When we're not delusional, okay? We know what we have. We know where we've been. We know what it's taken to get to where we are. We know what other people have, and we can size them up pretty well. And so I have a pretty good indication that it's going to be K-State BYU in Arlington. If BYU stays the course and K-State continues to go in this upward trajectory of Avery Johnson just getting better, and keep in mind, Avery is still his first year as a starting quarterback. First year as the starter. And the fact that he has managed to step in and be as confident and as consistent. I mean, he looks like a dang superstar out there. And I just feel like we've got all the tools necessary to make it to Arlington and win the Big 12 this year. It's exciting. I had a lot of hopes that they could at least be competitive, but with the fall off of Utah, the complete absence of Arizona and Kansas and Oklahoma State, and like with those teams completely falling off the radar, it's making the K-State it's making the chances of K-State winning, going to Arlington and winning in Arlington, much, much more achievable. Obviously, again, we're still early in the season, but it does not get any better than seeing K-State win in such a dominant way week over week. You know what I'm saying? Everything is there. Okay, let's take a look at these comments really fast, and then we're going to get out of here. Once again, also, hold on. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Stevie B, again, could not be here. He's not feeling very well, so give him a shout out. Wish him well if you could in the comments, if you haven't done so already. But what I know, Stevie went to the doctor, and the prescription was it was really strange. The prescription they gave him was, they said, yeah, just get a few hundred subscribers and you'll feel right. You'll feel right as rain. So just go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and Stevie B will get better. I mean, that's just, hey, that was the antidote. So, all right, Randall Johnson, CU is the best of the Pac-12 teams to date. To their credit, they really improved over last year. Let me think about this, Randall. Okay, I'm not denying Colorado is the most improved team. Okay, they're definitely the most improved team. Do I think that they're the best teams of the Pac-12? That is hard to say. That's hard to say. Because actually you could argue that Arizona State is the most improved team from the Pac-12. Nope, they were predicted to be last place in this league, and they're right up there with Colorado at 5-2. So Colorado obviously has one more conference win, but I mean, Arizona State, look at them. Colorado has the better players. I'll say that. They have the better players. They've got, they've got professional. They have former professional football players on their coaching staff across the board. They ought to be good this year. They ought to be. They've got all the pieces there. They just need to have it all come together, and I think they will end in the season in a good spot. I don't think they'll make it to the Big 12 championship, but they definitely have improved the most. And when Dion leaves and all the Sanders kids leave and Hunter leaves and all those pieces leave, Colorado's going to come back down to earth, and teams like Utah and Arizona State will most likely continue to be amongst the top in the teams that come in. But I hear what you're saying, and I kind of agree with this year specifically. ISU/K-State common opponent, West Virginia. That confirms who I think is better. Yep. I mean, there you go. There you go. We really need a win over a ranked opponent. Yeah. I mean, I think, okay, yeah, I've already read that. Utah is hot garbage. All right, here we go. Our team at BYU is not the same team currently. It was a big wake-up call for our players. They heard the preseason hype, but BYU showed them that they had to perform and execute. I think that's what you meant to say there. No, I agree with you, Randall. The thing is that BYU game is going to be forever an interesting game to think about, because just the way that the game went. K-State's offense was driving, most of the game. BYU couldn't really stop us. It was the turnovers, which, again, credit to BYU for making those turnovers happen. You don't get to say like, oh, well, it was just turnovers and that's why they lost. Well, BYU was the one that forced those turnovers, so it's credit to them. It was a night game. It was in a tough environment, sold out, whiteout. Actually, it was a whiteout. It was a game that I don't think happens twice. I'll say that. K-State is getting better every single week. We are making the most improvement and staying healthy, while other Big 12 teams are regressing and getting hurt. I agree. And I think that's a huge shout out to the K-State staff, medical team, coaching staff, knowing like how to, listen, K-State was just in Boulder last week, and that's Mountain Time. Then they had to cross Central Time and get into Eastern Time in West Virginia. Like, the amount of stress that has to put on the body of these players, and for them to go out and play the way they did, that's hard. And for them to not suffer any season-ending injuries, that's a huge testament to the coaching staff and the medical team of K-State. That's massive, massive shout out there. They're worth every dollar. Whatever is on their payroll, I completely support it. You get my vote to continue that. 100%. 100. Stevie B has something to say here. Even though he's not with us on the stream, he is with us in the chat. Everything is there for the taking. K-State is on an upward trajectory. Absolutely, man. I think the second we lost that first conference game, it was game on. It was game on. And we have looked better and better and better every single week. Connor Riley he's showing that he is ready to play. He's not afraid to open up the playbook. He's not afraid to make adjustments. Listen, they knew. I think K-State had a feeling that West Virginia, they're good against the run. Okay, their defense is pretty dang good against rushing teams. I think K-State had a feeling that West Virginia was going to be gunning for us in the run. So Connor Riley opened up the pass play. Got to give a shout out to that. And here we go. Randall John, we got some more comments rolling in. So we're going to keep this going for a little bit longer. How about Avery? Number 20 QBR rating in all FPS so far this season. Is that true? He's ranked 20th in the country? I did not know that. I know his QBR. Let's take a look real quick. QBR for this game was like 96 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check here real fast. Player stats. Of course, they're not showing it. I'm pretty sure it was like 90 something. Yeah, that's super cool. Good for Avery. I mean, listen, K-State is such an underdog team in terms of like what the broadcasting team, ESPN, like the people that talk. I mean, even when DJ had an insane game against Colorado, they were just like, yeah, and you know, DJ is a quiet running back from K-State. DJ Giddens, you know, doing a great job out there. All right, moving on to the next team. I'm like, really? That's it? That's all you're going to say? That's all you're going to say? That's all he gets? Oh, my God. Yeah, no. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is with K-State. I mean, we get no love at all. I mean, if Alabama did, if a tailback from Alabama or Georgia did that, they'd be talking about Heisman. They'd be like Heisman candidate right there, like immediately. It's just the way it goes. I can't stand it. It pisses me off. This K-State team is the deepest I've ever seen. Best depth ever. That's what she said. All right, moving on. Sorry, I had to do it. West Virginia was in the hundreds in pass defense. Yeah. No, he was. Or they were. Sorry. And that's why. I mean, like Iowa State, we had our game plan too. We saw West Virginia play against Iowa State the week before. Iowa State threw all over the map with them. So we're like, okay, let's do that then. Let's do that. And then QBR 76.9 for the season. Not bad. It was a little rough at the beginning. Avery's thrown a few interceptions. Let's not kid ourselves. It's been quite a bit of interceptions. But for the most part, Avery Johnson, and people keep forgetting this is his first year starting. I think he's still 19, right? He's 19. That's crazy. And I also appreciate the comments that he gets in the post-game conferences too, from coaches, from himself, obviously, but the coaches, they're like, he's always calm. He's not like, the moment is never too big for him. He's a star. He'll give us one more year at K-State, and then he is going to be first round draft pick in the NFL. I guarantee it. He is a future in football, for sure. He is quite literally has such a future for football. All right. Well, I did go a little bit over time. I do want to get out of here. I want to catch the Chiefs game. I realized that I haven't been that I went over that game a little bit, but thank you guys so much for watching. I'm glad that you could stick around and hang out with me without Stevie B. I hope to get him back on the show on Tuesday. Hopefully he's feeling better by then, because I would hate to do this again by myself. This was stressful. This was absolutely stressful. But I had a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, do all the things you got to do. And also, there is always just one last thing that we got to do at the very end of every show. And that's go Cats! Back!